Good evening. Welcome to Tuesday. It's Titillating Tuesday here at Cat's Cauldron, where you have a voice and we stir it up. I started to say spin it up, but it's Tuesday, the day after Monday. Some days are just better than others, right? And I'm telling you, woo-wee. So today we're going to talk about our favorite subject, a new variant, COVID, the new variant. Welcome to the show. A third of U.S. COVID now caused by Omicron BA.2 as overall cases fall. Listen, that sounds like something straight out of Mission Impossible. I'm telling you, honestly. About 1 in 3 COVID cases in the United States are now caused by the BA.2 Omicron subvariant of the coronavirus. According to the government, data on Tuesday, today, that also showed overall infections still declining from January's records. Despite the rise of the extremely contagious subvariant also seen in other countries, U.S. health experts say a major wave of new infections here appear unlikely. Not likely. Unlikely. Here we go. U.S. COVID-19 infections have receded sharply since January, although a resurgence in parts of Asia and Europe have raised concerns that one will follow in the United States, given previous patterns during the 2 years of the pandemic. I don't know about you, but I'm getting real tired of this pandemic stuff. Okay, it needs to go away. You don't have to go away, man. Just go away. In the Northeast, according to New Jersey, New York, and Massachusetts, Omicron BA.2 now makes up more than half the cases, according to data from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. That, my friends, is formerly the CDC. It accounted for 35% of U.S. infections for the week ending March 19th, CDC said. That compares with 22.3% for the week ending in March 12th, which was revised down from 23.1%, according to a CDC model that estimates proportions of circulating variants. Hey, bless. That's wonderful, isn't it? How about we say... Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. Still, Fauci noted that cases in the United States generally lag around 3 weeks behind the United Kingdom. And this is a quote, so if we're going to see an uptick, we should start seeing it within the next week or so. I don't believe a damn thing you say anyway. Top U.S. infectious disease official Dr. Anthony Fauci said at a Washington Post event on Tuesday, today, I wonder if he calls it Titillating Tuesday too, I don't know, that he does not believe there will be a major surge soon unless something changes dramatically. Daniel Kurtzix, I don't know how to pronounce this, but he's the chief of division of infectious disease at Boston's Brigham and Women's Hospitals, said there is no evidence yet that the rise of BA.2 is pointing to an increase in cases. Thank you, Daniel. I think one concern and where people need to remain vigilant is that we have relaxed many restrictions around masking and gathering. There is a potential opportunity for BA.2 or any other variant to gain a foothold, Daniel says.
Now, that ain't even bullshit.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The subvariant is more transmissible than Omicron BA. One variant that caused the massive winter surge, the World Health Organization has said. WHO. What a wonderful name for you. It does not appear to cause more severe disease. However, and early data showed that infection with BA.1, which was previous to BA.2A, good grief, offers strong protection against reinfection with BA.2, the WHO said. Who? I'm not going to go there. Don't make me sing. Somebody stole my lunch money and I couldn't pay for singing lessons, so we're not going to go there. As of March 19th, the seventh-day moving average of U.S. COVID-19 cases was 27,747, down nearly 18% from a week earlier. Most of the country is considered to be in low COVID transmission, according to the new CDC guidelines introduced last month that emphasize hospital capacities over case counts. And most people were advised they no longer need to wear a mask indoors. No evidence for a wave in wastewater. So now they've gone to checking wastewater to see out of the waste of which you expel from your body, how we're transmitting and how active COVID-19 is. Well, I got one thing to say about that.
Warning, bullshit alert.
Yeah, that's what I think. The Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation, IHME, at the University of Washington, which updated its closely watched projection on Monday, does not expect a U.S. big surge of coronavirus cases in the coming weeks. However, it is possible that the rapid return to pre-COVID-19 behavior and the spread of BA.2 could see a short period of increasing case numbers. And that was from the University of Washington, and I still think that's what I think. Testing of wastewater samples for coronavirus has proven to be an effective early gauge of coming increases in COVID-19 cases, sometimes spotting new infection surges days or even weeks ahead of human testing data. BioBot Analytics has been testing sewage around the United States for the virus since March 2020 and currently is monitoring over 200 sites in about 40 states. As of right now, there is no evidence for a wave in the wastewater data. Just to give you a sense of content, the level of the virus in the wastewater was rising about 100-fold faster during the Omicron wave in December as compared to now. In New York City is moving ahead with dropping more mitigation plans. Mayor Eric Adams said on Tuesday that masks will now be optional for children ages 2 to 4 in schools and daycare facilities. Starting on April the 4th, children below age 5 are not eligible for COVID vaccinations. Somebody actually got some common sense. Stop putting masks on the children. The 7-day positivity rate in New York City schools was 0.15% last week, according to the city's Department of Education. The city's 7-day positivity rate for all ages was 21% at the height of last surge. Our schools have been among the safest places for our children since the beginning of the pandemic. And we will only remove this requirement if the science says that it is safe to do so. Take the mask off the children. Stop sticking them with stuff. The 7-day positivity rate in New York City schools was, again, 0.15% last week, according to the city's Department of Education. So, this is your uptick. Wanted to share that with you. I know that's not everybody's favorite subject, but we needed to talk about it. So, in today's news, Ukraine. Imagine that. Is that what we've been watching? Ukraine. U.S. President Biden flies to Europe on Wednesday, tomorrow, for an emergency NATO summit on Ukraine, where invading Russian troops are stalled. Cities are under bombardment, and the besieged port of Mariupol is in flames. 4 weeks into the war that has driven a quarter of Ukraine's 44 million people from their homes, Russia has failed to capture a single major Ukrainian city, while Western sanctions have ostracized it from the world economy. You go, Ukraine. Good for you all. Keep fighting. Don't give in. After failing in what Western countries say was an attempt to siege Kiev and depose the government, Russian forces have taken heavy losses, been frozen in place for at least a week on most fronts, and face supply problems and fierce resistance. They have turned to siege tactics and bombardment of cities, causing mass destruction and many civilian deaths. Sorry, again, my mouth is just not working today. Moscow says its aim is to disarm its neighbor, and its special military operation is going to plan. It denies targeting civilians. Of course they do. Of course they're not going to admit to killing civilians. Worst hit has been Mariupol, a southern port completely surrounded by Russian forces, where hundreds of thousands of people have been sheltering since the war's early days under constant bombardment and with food, water, and heat supplies cut. New satellite photographs from commercial firm Maxmar, released overnight, showed massive destruction of what was once a city of 400,000 people, with columns of smoke rising from residential apartment buildings in flames. But they're not targeting civilians, but they're bombarding apartment complexes where civilians live. Think about that. Biden, due to a ride in Brussels on Wednesday evening, will meet NATO and European leaders in an emergency summit at the Western Military Alliance's headquarters. The leaders are expected to roll out additional sanctions against Russia on Thursday. Sources said the U.S. package would include measures targeting Russian members of parliament. Biden will also visit Poland, which has taken in most of the more than 3.6 million refugees who have fled Ukraine, and has been the main route for Russian supplies of weapons in Ukraine. In a sign of Moscow's further isolation, Poland announced it was expelling 45 Russian diplomats accused of either being undercover spies or associated with them. Several other Eastern European countries have announced similar moves in recent days, although not on such a large scale. Russia has rejected all of these accusations. So, with that being said, that's kind of the update of what's going on right now. The talks have been confrontational, so we'll have to wait and see what comes each day. If anything comes of it, I will update you as I can, because, again, I want to make sure that we cover things that are of interest to you. Thank you for writing in, Peggy. I appreciate you. I just wanted